Hello students, in the last lecture, Science Stimulus Part 1, we have studied how does science stimulus leads to FAP, fixed action pattern. In that lecture, we have also studied that science stimulus is divisible into three types of science stimulus: the visual, the auditory and the chemical. And one another type which is called as the supernormal stimuli. Today, we will see some examples of the supernormal stimulus, audio, visual, and the chemical stimulus. So, types of science stimulus. Science stimulus is not often one character but a combination of many stimuli, namely shape of the bill, color and patches on the body, or even action and the auditory signals. Science stimulus can be of three types. The first type is the visual releasers. The visual releasers mean that the signal or the stimulus is some morphological character, and these morphological character are displayed to elicit response. For example, display of feathers or dancing in birds. We have seen, it's a very common example, the display of feathers by the male peacock to attract the females for mating. Nest making behavior in birds such as weaver bird not only attracts female but also repels other males. Next example, we have seen fireflies. Now see, fireflies, they emit light signals that bring about responses from females. We have seen the example of three-spined stickleback fish, that the male and female get different type of coloration during the reproductive season. The male, they develop a red belly and the female develop a swollen belly. So this nuptial coloration during breeding season, in which neck and belly become bright red color in males to attract female, and it also acts as a warning color to other male not to enter the territory. Another good example is the flowers and bee example. See, we have seen, we know that bees, they collect pollen and nectar from flowers. Now this example shows that other animals may not necessarily perceive the world the way we see. Flowers that appear to us to be a particular color may have distinct patterns called honey guides when viewed in ultraviolet light. See, in this image here, this is the flower. And if you see the another image, the blue and the white one, this is through the ultraviolet filter. Now, when we see through the ultraviolet filter, we see honey guides in this flower. So we see the flower like this because we do not have the ability to see the ultraviolet light. So we are not able to see the honey guides. So some insects' eyes are sensitive to the ultraviolet light and they respond to the honey guides. So these are some example of visual releasers. Another example of visual releaser is how trout fishes catches insects. See, insects, they are above the water and trout is inside the water. So how trouts catch the insect? I'll show you a video where you can see how the trouts catch insect. This video is of flyingfishingdevon.co.uk. You can See,
A skylight or circular window surrounded by a mirror. Arenaro's great insight was to recognize how Trout used the position of the fly in this window to make an effective rise. Because of the laws of refraction, fish cannot see objects which lie below an angle of 10 degrees to the water surface at the edge of their window. The red triangles in these diagrams show this blind spot extending outwards all around the edge of the trout's window. This is why we adopt a stealthy approach when casting a trout. We often judge where to cast our fly by noting where a trout rises to take a natural fly. But there is a flaw in this approach, which has been explained by Vince Marinaro. It turns out trout get advance warning of the fly long before it appears in their window. Trout are able to see parts of an insect or artificial fly that rests on or punctures the mirror. Bodies of emerging flies break through the water surface. They hang beneath the mirror. The legs of duns resting on the surface also create a light pattern that triggers the start of the fly. A number of authors have provided photographic evidence that trout can see the wings of approaching insects in their window. The wings of an insect that protrude above an angle of greater than 10 degrees to the water surface are potentially visible in the window. Therefore, a trout has two cues that an approaching object may be edible. Firstly, body parts that break through the mirror, and secondly, wings appearing in the window. There are photographs in Clark and Goddard's book that show that when an insect reaches the edge of the trout's window, a crucial event takes place. The wings, body, and legs of the insect merge together. Marinaro provides similar photographs, and he summed up his extensive observational study of trout feeding behavior in these important words. It is an inescapable conclusion that the trout places the fly always at the edge of the window for all purposes, viewing, inspecting, and taking. Why does the trout keep the fly at the edge of the window? I think trout behave in this way in order to judge the exact position of the fly. By keeping the fly in a precise position relative to their body, the trout stand a very good chance of engulfing the insect. Not for one moment suggesting that trout do mathematical calculations, but I am suggesting that the trout's behavior has evolved in response to the physical laws which describe their everyday environment. We know that the trout's window has a width of 97 degrees, and that the radius of the trout's window is a precise function of the depth of the trout in the water, and therefore the distance between the trout and the insect can be calculated, because this distance is a precise function of the depth of the trout in the river. The trout stand a very good chance of successfully ingesting a fly if they drift downstream, keeping the insect on the edge of the window. The acquisition of this skill may involve learning, maturation, and practice. The main messages from this analysis is that a successful trout fly should present a primary trigger stimulus that penetrates the mirror. This engages the trout's attention and initiates the rise. Wings on the artificial may act as cues during a rise to maintain the trout's movement towards the fly. Marinaro's theory can also account for how a trout intercepts the natural or artificial fly swimming beneath the surface. As the sunfly approaches, the fish sees two images, the actual fly and its reflection